This is a live look at Wrightsville Beach, where just this weekend, Captain Red Flowers made a stop as he tries to break a world record, completing the Great Loop. We'll have more on that in just a moment. Thanks for joining for WECT News Now. I'm Randy Aldridge, and right now we have Chief Meteorologist Gannon Medwick here to talk about just how hot it is. Those people out on the beach are probably in the water.
Yeah, it's a good place to be because the sand is probably 8,000 degrees underfoot. When you select your spot, it's a flip-flops kind of day. We do have a suite of first alert weather days in place this week. Last week, we kind of held off, even though it was very active. We do need the rain, and we steered clear of flooding and severe weather, which was wonderful. This week, we do have a couple of storm chances, but just the heat. On a busy time of year, Randy, we've got move-in weekend coming up
Wednesday.
for UNCW. Yeah, starts
Starts
Wednesday. Yeah, it's a whole.
They figured it out over there. It's by appointment this year.
Oh, really?
It could have been that way in the past, and I didn't know about it, but it's the first time I've heard about it.
When I was moving into my college semesters, it was like you might as well have called it a move-in free-for-all.
Us too.
It was
and
crazy.
just getting to the dorm was like a snaking line of cars. My mother crying in the front seat the whole way.
Oh, well, not to mention the emotions.
Yes.
That's right. So we got that. We've got practices ramping up as football season is just about upon us. And then also just the day-to-day. You've got to crush it at the job site. We've had a lot of practice with the heat precautions this year. It's time to employ those again. So we've got that included in the next big thing. So it's heat and storms 1 and 1A today, and then even hotter later this week. Let's start with this notion of storms here in this 11 o'clock hour. Clean radar and future radar through lunchtime. I think we maintain that, but as we get into the mid-afternoon and right around drive time, that's another reason I pulled the trigger on a first alert weather day today, is sometimes the time is important. And if you get data that supports right around drive time, some heavy storms, maybe that's an extra reason that we can raise the flag for today. So I want you to peek at your WECT weather app interactive radar before you make those moves home later today. Could be some heavy lightning-rich storms. And then for the most part, they quiet down as we go 6 hours more. Helping with the storm chances today is daytime heating, your heat index, what it feels like, flirting with that heat advisory threshold from the National Weather Service. 105 is the threshold. We're right on that doorstep for today. We go hard charging past that benchmark tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, possibly some days after that, but we'll at least quote you 5 first alert weather days. Pretty liberal presentation as far as that goes. Is the thing about heat is if you don't address it day one, you're that much more vulnerable for heat-related illness later on. So let's stay ahead of this. Staying ahead of the tropics as well, a couple of weak low-pressure waves. One is eastbound at high latitudes, that's riding north of Bermuda, and one is sneaking at the low latitudes toward the Caribbean. Both of these have limited development windows, not a lot environmentally going for them, so that's awesome. But farther east, I wanted to kind of isolate this stronger wave of low pressure near Africa's Cabo Verde Islands. 2-day window development odds are on the low end, but there's higher chances after that. And so this is the time of year now in the middle third of August when we start to get some of these eastern waves, even in an El Nino year. A few, you love my analogy. You said that before. I think it was like, so El Nino is like paving the hurricane season with a sidewalk. But occasionally you can get some plants to kind of grow in the cracks of the sidewalk. So that's what we look for this time of year. Importantly, though, within that 7-day window, no definable threats. No definable threats from the tropics here to the Cape Fear or Carolinas. And we got plenty of stuff to watch here at home with all this heat anyway. So that's just fine with me.
Yeah, though the next 5 days are rough.
Yeah.
They're rough.
I've seen some data that keeps it going. Like by I mean at least middle 90s. Heat index possibly over 105, like after that as well. So right now we've got cooler 92, 93 for some of those. We easily could have data that supports a more stressful variety of heat after that. Let's just take it kind of one bite at a time through this long month of August.
And these things in the tropics, just we're looking at, nothing to panic about.
100%. We always monitor everything in the tropics just by convention. That's why you tune to us in the First Alert Weather Department to do that. And no hype, just, hey, what's the NHC advising on? Can we add some perspective? I like the geography with some of these features to not cause a problem. So let's just take that and run, but we promise to keep you posted day to day.
So what's going to be funny, not funny, but interesting to watch is move into UNCW. Starts Wednesday through Saturday, and all these kids that are coming from like the Northeast that want to be, at the beach, like, welcome to summer.
Yeah,
It's hardcore.
Summer and then some.
Yeah, it's
right.
like Lord of the Flies out there, like survival of the fittest for them.
That's
Did you
right.
go to UNCW?
I didn't. I went to Penn State.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Ours was, I went to Chapel Hill. It was really like survival of the fittest when we moved in. It was one day, all one day.
Yeah, I remember one time my buddy was with the auxiliary services and he got me a job there. So I was like officiating that as well.
Really?
You can't park here. You can't. Yeah. Got a lot of let's say respect from the people trying to move in and parents, and everybody was hot, and it's just free for all describes it really well. So maybe it'll work better when you have what did you say, by appointment?
It's by evidently. It's by appointment. I guess they're going to find out how that works. But I guess and they spread it out.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
When I moved in, I got in, not in late, but I got into the housing thing late, and I was in a temporary dorm. So I went up with very little stuff to begin with, which was good because I was on like the 7th floor.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay.
But then I had to move it all again.
Because from temporary, it had an expiration.
Yeah.
So ostensibly, the semester starts next Monday, Tuesday. Is that? I don't know.
I don't know when classes begin. Probably midweek. Wednesday. Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. UNCW Beach Blast will be Monday, right? Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Speaking of days not to go to Wrightsville Beach.
Gosh, well, we're expecting that, wicked cold front to take us from 97 all the way down to 93. So that sounds like terrible. Terrible beach
weather's
weather.
been awful for a
yeah,
bit.
that's
Absolutely
right.
awful.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming in here and spreading the hot word, the hot tea.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to call it from now on.
Let's do it again in about 24.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Randy.
All right. Now back to the Great Loop. So if you're a boater, you know what this is. For the rest of you, let me explain. It is a waterway loop that traverses the waters up the East Coast, around New England, through the Great Lakes, down through the Mississippi, across the Gulf, back around to Florida, back to your starting point. Okay? The Great Loop. Well, a man was in Wilmington this weekend on this trip. Plus, he's doing it for charity and trying to set a record. Our own Rachel Holly met him. His name's Captain Red. Take a look.
The first leg of a 6,000-mile journey is officially in the books. Captain Red is attempting his second Great Loop run, starting in Florida, racing up the Atlantic to Maine, through the Great Lakes, and down the Mississippi. The inspiration comes from a personal story. Captain Red is a stage 4 cancer survivor. But while fighting his own battle, he says the most heartbreaking part was seeing all the kids in the hospital.
And they were there during Christmas, the kids were there during Easter. I couldn't believe how many children are in the hospital. I'd never seen it before.
His first race around the Great Loop took just under 20 days. And while he wants to beat the time record, his biggest concern is raising money for the Pediatric Cancer Foundation. Before, he raised $500,000. But the goal this time is to raise over $1 million. Everything raised goes straight to the charity. And he says every little bit helps.
Just think what we could do if 1 million people gave $5.
During the journey, the crew lives completely on the boat. And that includes sleeping, too.
I don't feel that I'm giving the children any comfort at all if I'm sleeping in a motel somewhere every night. So we sleep in our boat, on the floor of the boat, in a little roll-up mat. Yep, sometimes it rains. You just put a rain suit on and sleep in it.
Captain Red says this trip is one of the hardest things he's done, but that it's all worth it for the kids.
If those kids are willing to keep fighting, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna keep doing this.
So, lucky for me, I now have Bill Murray here with me. We were talking about the Great Loop and how tiny that boat is for them. Then they say they sleep on it.
I don't know.
I don't know where they either. I know you lived on a boat for a little while.
I did, and it was, that was cramped at 30 feet.
Well, my brother's plan for retirement is to buy a big boat and do the loop, but he wants to do it like 2 years. He wants to take his time, go to a place, stay for a few weeks, come home for a few weeks.
Several years ago, during COVID, I met a woman who was doing it solo in retirement, about 62, 63 years old. She had a big trawler, and it was just her.
Well,
her in the controls.
I don't think I could do that.
Right. fascinating.
I had enough trouble with my 22-foot boat. I surely couldn't get that around.
Right.
So anyway, you're working on something that I did not even know existed until a few hours ago.
Yeah, two things. Let me do this because I just have notes right now because I'm literally putting it together as we speak. But fascinating story for people who have family members with intellectual disabilities. In Brunswick County, the community college has got a nationally ranked program, one of the first in the state, that met a man from Maryland who has brought his family here. They've moved specifically for that program.
You know, that school is underrated. We
To
don't think about it
enroll
enough.
their
There's a lot
35
going on
year-old
out there.
daughter.
So
And
what
she's
exactly
loving it.
what is this program about?
Well, the
What does it do?
interagency program, it's helping people with intellectual disabilities, socialization skills, work skills, simple educational skills as well, just kind of helping to bring up to speed to their own speed and to be able to function in a way that in some cases means independence for the very first time.
That was my question. So what does this get them ready for independence?
The goal is to be able to do that in many cases, yes.
What is the age group on this?
Doesn't matter. You just have to be 17 to start and have graduated from school. The young lady that I interviewed today was 35 years old. Had been in the program for about 4 years. There is no graduation ceremony once you enroll, so it's not from start to finish. It's about just getting the job done and doing what you need to do to become have a little more maybe self-esteem in some ways to be able to carry on conversations and stuff like that. So it was really great because she's like, oh my gosh, I love it here. This is a great part of my day. And as the director would say, you know, for a lot of people who come from different social, economic, family drama skills as well, you know, that they hope that that's the best 6.5 hours of their day. And from the people that I met, I think a lot of that's very true.
So when you're talking about getting them prepared to perhaps and hopefully live independently, what are the kinds of things they teach them? Is it like basic life skills?
Basic life skills, basic consumer math, you know, simple social skills, things along those lines. So it really is, for 6 hours, they're going through, like, I think 4 different classes. And in the young lady that I talked to, and I don't know off the top of my head, so I'm speaking, but I think everybody has to hold a little part-time job in some way.
Oh, wow.
And so the goal is to, you know, is to be able to say that everybody is employable in some way. I have a quote here that's worth sharing, is that the long-term goal is for everyone that we believe everyone is employable. It may be a very supervised setting or it may be a complete live placement, but if you can describe a skill, you can measure a skill. And if you can measure a skill, then you can teach a skill, right?
Yeah.
And so our job coaches, our crew leaders do a great job of employment skills and hands-over-hand training so our students are competent and ready to compete. So that's a good thing.
That's fantastic. And that is what time tonight?
That's happening at 6.
All right.
Hey,
And
listen, before you kick me off here, I am late to the party. Gannon was here talking about what a brutal week it's going to be.
oh, yes.
Did he mention our Cracker Jack director over here in the corner, Claire,
Claire? No. Why? What's going on?
who's in head-to-toe sherbet right now?
Oh, yeah. Well, always. Well, here in Randyland, we keep the temperatures super low. She wraps up in a blanket.
You
all day,
guys
every
don't
day.
even know how freezing it is right now.
What is up with that over there? Right?
You guys
My
don't even know.
goodness.
When Kim comes in here, she brings a coat.
Does she really?
Yes. Yeah, we were doing what something Gannon and I were talking about was college move-in day. Do you remember college move-in day?
Yes and no.
Because it's very structured at UNCW this year. I don't know if it's always been this way, but they're doing it by appointment. I was telling Gannon, it was a free-for-all. It was like the Hunger Games with us to get in.
Well, my first day of college, I drove from Jersey to D.C. and got stuck in a traffic accident in Maryland that didn't get me there until like 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, my gosh.
And I had my first class orientation at 8, and I woke up like, where am I? And that's what I remember most about that day, more than anything else.
I just remember my mother crying the whole time.
Oh, really?
Very much so.
There's a bridge in Maryland, and I don't know, the overpass, it's about a mile long. And I remember we were all stuck. All lanes were blocked for hours. Guy got up on his Volkswagen bus with his guitar, playing like Kumbaya, and people passing around snacks. Long time ago.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
for both of us. Thanks so much, Bill. All right, I'm going to kick off some local headlines right now, starting with horrifying news out of Bladen County. An investigation now underway into the death of an infant who authorities say was mauled to death by a dog in Tar Heel. That baby, just under 6 months old. Here's what we know so far. Like I said, it happened in Tar Heel. Animal Control took 2 dogs, both being held this morning. Unclear if one or both of them were involved in the attack. The investigation remains ongoing. We will bring you more as it becomes available. And a federal federal judge is letting a Pender County lawsuit move forward after a family says deputies raided the wrong home. The case involves a 2024 SWAT raid for a burglary suspect. The judge says the family in question has plausible Fourth Amendment claims, questioning, among other things, the warrant, if deputies knocked and announced they were coming in, and whether the raid and why the raid continued after the car outside did not match the suspect's vehicle. And in Brunswick County, Oak Island beachgoers may notice survey crews on the sand and in the water today. A truck with GPS equipment will be on shore, and a survey boat will be just offshore. Now, town officials say the boat may come close to shore, but that's normal, and they're asking any swimmers or anglers nearby to temporarily move and reel in your lines until it passes. That survey should be finished next week. And we've been talking about it all morning for the Seahawks. It's almost time for them to soar this week. UNCW will welcome back students for the fall semester. It's exciting times for students and parents, traffic worries for the rest of us. The good news is, as we've talked about, UNCW has all planned out with students arriving on a schedule. Get this, nearly 6,000 students will start moving in on Wednesday. Students are moving in based on assigned appointments, and there will be designated unloading zones to help the process run smoothly. The university says residential parking lots will remain closed until move-in ends this Sunday. If you're traveling near the university, remember to pack your patience. North Carolina House Bill 958 is now sitting on Governor Josh Stein's desk this morning, awaiting his promised veto. The complicated bill has brought out passionate opinions from both sides of the aisle, with a promise to make major changes to election law here in the state. Supporters say it saves money and could boost trust in elections. Those against it say it makes voting harder and limits access. Let me break this down a bit for you. So, of the major provisions, it reduces early voting for primaries, runoff, and special elections, trimming the days from 17 to 10. It also requires the state auditor, a Republican office holder, to conduct post-election audits. It shortens the window for challenges from 5 to 3 days, requires proof of U.S. citizenship, and expands data share with federal agencies. At the local level, it allows county boards to suspend or remove precinct officials at any time, including on election day. It passed the House last week along strict party lines. An associate professor at UNCW spoke with our own Raina Cruz about what she thinks the changes will do to voters.
People on the margins, people who are not paying attention. So here at UNCW, there's a lot of student voters, folks who might not have been registered quite yet, or this is their first time voting, or they're voting in a new place. So those are the types of voters that are more impacted by rules changes.
And over the weekend, the governor did announce that he intends to veto the bill, a move that could come today. House Republicans seem likely to override the veto, but House Speaker Destin Hall said that move, if it happens, won't come until they reconvene in November. If it does go into law, the changes wouldn't apply to these elections. They would start next year. So now I've got Raina Crooms here to talk a little bit more about this. Hi.
Hi, Randy.
How are you?
I'm good.
We've been working on this all morning, it feels like.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
Yeah.
It is
It's
complicated.
like 30 pages long of a
It
bill.
is. It is. And I just pulled out like key pieces. There's a lot of stuff there's a lot of meat on this bone.
Yes.
The big takeaways are shortening time to vote, or early voting rather, the challenges,
Right.
the challenge,
And the state auditor. Yeah.
So, what is your takeaway from all of this, Ben? What is your biggest takeaway from all of this? That's a whole lot going on.
Yeah, it's definitely a whole lot going on. It's definitely a good time to just pay attention to election laws in the state. So that way, when you do show up to vote, even though these changes, if they're passed, wouldn't go into effect until next year, that you're prepared, that you know how much time you have, that you know what all you need to bring. I think it's just a good time to pay attention to what's all going on, because it is literally changing every day.
It kind of is. And I just checked just right before I came on here. The governor still, as far as I know, that was about 15 minutes ago, has
Yeah.
still not vetoed it when I was coming on air. Do
Yeah.
we know any more?
As of right now, I've been checking as well too. Still not yet, but he did say on Facebook last week and other social media platforms flat out, he said he's going to veto it because he said, in his opinion, it limits voter access. And of course, the supporters feel differently. They feel like it'll help strengthen elections. And so it's a lot of differing opinions on this bill for
Right.
sure.
They also, supporters say will save money because shortening
Yeah.
up that time.
Yeah.
debatable.
You know, I guess it just depends on
Yeah.
the county and how much they're spending. I did reach out to the State Board of Elections, but they never replied back to me on this one. But I think the perspective is, you know, shortening the days. That's fewer cost for paying for a center,
for counties.
volunteers, you know, all that kind of thing.
Yeah. Interesting. It'll be interesting what happens. I think one of the most interesting things is, which is what was surprising to me, is that the House Speaker said that they won't even consider an override till they come back in November.
Yes,
Which,
and that's
which
because
then they may or may not have the votes to do this.
yeah. So I know because they're focusing on elections.
Oh, they're on the road.
Yeah, they're focusing on elections right now, so that's kind of a time conflicting thing. So we'll really just have to see what happens and if that override is possible. I know when this passed in the House last week, it was strictly Republicans
Party
who
lines.
have the majority who were able to get this passed, and all the Democrats in the House voted against it. So
And they have a majority now, but it
Yes.
is slim.
yeah.
It's slim, which is remains to be seen what happens.
We just
and
got to
move
keep our
on.
eyes peeled and see. You know, it's going to be a really election dependent this year.
Yeah, I think we're going to be talking about this into November.
Oh, most likely. We've been talking about this bill for a long time.
Yeah.
And so,
Seems like it's been around a long time.
yeah, and to know it's not even going to apply this election season, next election season. And so, definitely just from what the professor I talked to at UNCW said, she said, keep your eyes peeled and pay attention to what's going on so you know how you will be impacted when you try to vote.
Let's switch gears a little bit. You were in here when I was talking to Gannon and with Bill. We were talking about how hot it's going to be.
Yes.
And about moving in. I know you've got a couple things coming up, but I asked both of them about it. Do you remember your first move-in day at college?
I do.
Was it crazy?
Not really. It was a pretty smooth experience.
Was it by appointment? Because you're a lot younger than all of us.
Yeah,
So-
ours was by schedule.
Yeah.
So I went to East Carolina University in Greenville, a couple hours from here, and we had designated times that you had to show up depending on your floor and what dorm you were on. So that way it wasn't a big rush. And then when you arrive, they have people who unload your car for you and put everything in your dorm.
They did
And
not.
so
I had my brother and my dad.
no, so I remember it being, and also a lot of my family came. I had my dad, and like my stepmom, my grandparents. So I just remember rolling up and kind of standing around, looking at them,
Of course you did.
setting up my dorm and saying, that should go here, that should go there. And it was a pretty smooth experience, but I remember it being very hot. And I also remember feeling bad for other people who lived in my dorm because my dorm itself was very old and it had no elevators.
Which one were you in?
I was in Legacy.
Okay. Is Fleming Hall still there?
I think so. Yes.
It would always be like the first day that somebody would change the letters and change it from Fleming Hall to Flaming Hell.
Okay, I haven't heard of that one, but that name, yeah, it rings a bell for me. I was on College Hill, so I was by the sports facilities.
It was newer.
No,
Nope.
not my dorm.
Fleming was old too.
Yeah, my dorm was pretty old. In fact, our bathrooms were boys' bathrooms because it used to be an all-boys hall, and they turned it to a girls' hall.
Just
so it
to
was
have
a
urinals in
co-ed
the
dorm.
bathroom?
Yeah, I had urinals in my bathroom, and I felt gypped because when I did my orientation a few weeks prior, they put us in the brand new dorms, and I was like, oh, these are so nice. They had these amazing bathrooms that looked like they were from hotels, and I said, I can't wait. And then I got in my dorm, I said, hold on, what's
What's
this?
happening here?
Yeah.
We didn't have air conditioning when I started college.
Oh my gosh,
You had to get a note from your doctor for a window unit.
that is awful.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
See, we had a
Oh my God.
window unit, but because it was so old, it had mold and it made like everybody in the dorm sick.
Oh my gosh.
So-
I was in a temporary dorm. I started in Hinton James dorm, which is a high rise, and I think I was on the 7th floor.
What school were you at?
Chapel Hill.
Okay.
But I was there for just a little while, and then I moved up into Grimes, which is like up in Old Campus, which was great, and I loved it. So I didn't have to take everything when I first got there.
That's good.
Which wasn't so bad.
Yeah,
but,
I took a lot of stuff with me. And then luckily I was sharing a dorm with a girl that I grew up dancing with. So that was really nice. But then we had to just move it out a few months later because of COVID. So
Oh, that's right. You were a COVID baby. Oh my gosh, that's right. You did eventually go back though. to the
yeah,
dorm.
I came back to school my sophomore year. So we left during spring break freshman year, and then we just never came back. And then we had to like move out during spring break, basically. And then
Did you go back to the same dorm room?
No. So I had signed an apartment lease with my friends for sophomore year before COVID had happened. So we were just like kind of waiting it out. And I came back to school, but we weren't in school. So it was kind of nice. I just had online class and I lived in an apartment with my best friends and that was it. It was good.
That must be a weird experience. All right, so the stories you're working on are about the heat.
Yes.
All right.
So I am doing an interview later today with Brunswick County EMS to talk about the heat because, as we heard Gannon say, it's extremely hot outside. And so we're going to just be talking about some ways that you can stay safe. I also reached out to a few school districts in our area. You know, kids have football practice, other sports practices going on. So just how they're balancing, trying to be prepared for the season and the extreme heat.
Well, I can't wait to hear more about that. I appreciate that. My son used to play football, and we'd have to have him out there with a crack o' dawn.
Yeah, really early in the morning to beat
terrible.
the heat.
Yeah.
But it's still hot.
No, it still was. He would come home like 5 pounds down, and then eat everything in the house.
Hopefully that happens to me when I'm outside with my live shots tomorrow morning.
Oh, that's right. You could be out in it.
I'll be
or
all
something
right.
light.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Raina.
Thank you.
All right, we're getting close to the halfway point of Clear the Shelters Month. Today, our own Kim Ratcliffe got to meet the cutest pup. His name is FedEx. Take a look.
Of course, our very special guest is little FedEx here, and we want to thank Jerry for bringing him in. Jerry from Wagon Tails Farm Rescue. So it was great to have both of you here.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. Now,
Appreciate
FedEx is named FedEx for a very special reason.
It is. Our FedEx delivery driver actually found him along his route. He was injured and said, "Can you guys help me out? I don't know what to do." So we tried to find an owner, never found him, but took him straight to the vet to get him looked at. Yeah. He was covered in puncture wounds. We're not sure
from what,
but he's healing. He's missing a little fur right now while he heals, but otherwise he's doing great.
He's a lucky little guy, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah. He was not doing well when we found him. So
poor thing. Now, how old is he?
He's about 1.5 years, 2 years.
Okay.
And he goes to get neutered tomorrow, and then he's ready for his forever home.
He said he didn't.
Yep, don't tell him.
But he's a spunky little guy, and right now you're fostering him, so you've kind of seen his personality.
Absolutely. We have a small farm up in Beulahville, so he lives with 3 cattle dogs. He lives with cats, goats, ducks, and he's just curious and friendly with everything and everyone he meets.
He really is. His tail has just been wagging the entire time. Very inquisitive too.
Yes.
You know, not really. I mean, I didn't, at least from what I've noticed him being in the studio a little bit. Hello. He doesn't appear to be scared of a lot of things, you know,
No.
like very inquisitive, wants to kind of go up and meet people and sniff around.
Absolutely. The first day or two that we had him, he wanted just to sleep, which I don't blame him. But then all of a sudden, this little spunky puppy kind of came out of his shell. So he's actually house trained and crate trained too. So he rides great in the car. And so we came down this morning and he's just ready to explore the world.
I know you are. I know. And so as far as his wounds, any adopter should know? Is there anything that they're going to have to worry about later?
At this point, it's just letting everything finish healing. He's still got some scabs on him that are coming off, so he's still losing some hair in that process. But as everything grows back in, they expect no issues.
That's great.
Yeah, he's been a good little pup.
Now talk a little bit about Wagon Tails Farm Rescue. Sorry about that.
Sure, no, that's okay. We got started in 2018, and we've adopted out a little over 1,000 animals since then. We're just a group of friends who, you know, we actually came from Ohio and realized how bad the need was down here, and so we did the paperwork to start a rescue and never looked back.
And well, you're in a really rural part of North Carolina, too.
We're based in Duplin County, but all of our foster homes are all throughout Eastern NC and a couple other states. So
kind of answer the need.
Yep. We work a lot with New Hanover County down here and Pender County and Duplin, Lenore, kind of all over. Wherever there's a need, they'll call and reach out to us. And animals like this, if we find them, if we don't find their owners, we take care of them, whatever they need.
Is there an application process if anybody's interested in him?
If they just go to our website, to wagontailsfarm.org/adopt, and then they'll see his picture, click adopt. It asks for 2 personal references just to make sure you are who you say you are, and it'll ask for some information. It usually takes about 2 to 3 days to get the application processed, and then you meet the little guy, and as long as all goes well, he gets to go home. And then for Clear the Shelters Month, we're actually doing $50 discount for all pets.
Great.
Not all pets, all dogs.
All dogs.
And $25 for all of our cats. So
Fabulous.
it's an extra little push because the more room we make in our foster homes, the more we can help the
Other
shelters.
animals. Yeah,
Yep.
sure. All right. Well, we are going to give you some information on how you can find Wagon Tails Farm Rescue, link, and all the other animal shelters that are participating in Clear the Shelters. Just go to wect.com/shelters. Remember, we're hoping to get FedEx here adopted as soon as we can. I know. All right. Thanks again for coming in.
Thank you so much for having us.
I met that little guy this morning. Somebody should take him home. Well, Clear the Shelters has helped adopt over 1 million animals and raised nearly $6 million for shelters since it began 12 years ago. This week, it joined forces with Greater Good Charities on a life-saving airlift of 60 animals, taking them from New Orleans to Wisconsin. Meet Lavender, her 9 pups, and the other dogs, lucky dogs and cats who were on that flight.
What we're doing here today is a 3 a.m. flight at Lakefront Airport in New Orleans. Multiple shelters along the Gulf Coast of Louisiana bring pets together. We are matched with a shelter in Wisconsin, and they'll be in homes within 3 days.
Having partnerships like this through the Greater Good Charities, having events like this, like Clear the Shelters, you know, it really brings attention to our plight in the shelter industry. We have animals on this flight that wouldn't make it out of southern shelters. But that's not today. Today we are going to save them.
Give me 3 more days.
It's difficult to get these animals adopted locally because it's summertime. There is a lot of intake at these shelters. Most of us are at 95% to 100% capacity, and we have less spay-neuter options here, less buy-in from the public.
Having the support of our parish governments to get us here early in the morning, it makes a difference, and we see it, and it's a difference in life or death.
Our transport program is all about moving adoptable animals to shelters that have the capacity for adoption from areas that are overcrowded, and the shelters we're moving them to are able to support them and meet all of their needs and get them into adopting families as soon as possible.
Moving pets was a lot different than moving boxes, for sure. It has a lot more purpose behind it. This trip was very interesting for me. I grew up in Milwaukee, and I have a lot of people in the area that have adopted locally, so this is kind of a full circle moment for me to be able to bring these pets up to where I grew up.
We moved 54 dogs and 6 cats. One of them is Lavender. She is our mom of 9 puppies.
Hi, Lavender.
The shelter ended up pulling her, and lo and behold, she was pregnant. Thankfully, this rescue was able to get her into a foster. She was able to have those puppies.
We are really excited to get them ready to go and get them into their new homes here in the greater Waukesha County, Wisconsin area. We are so proud to be working in conjunction with these great organizations to really work on clearing the shelters and raise some awareness. For pets like Lavender, I feel very confident that we can provide them the medical care they need, the enrichment that they need to really help them be successful in a new home.
The impact for Greater Good Charities and Clear the Shelter on our shelters, it brings awareness in the community that this is literally the length we go to in order to have enough homes for pets.
There's room for all of us, and really working together is something that I think just moves mountains for all of these pets.
So the woman you're about to meet has works of art hanging in private homes and museums around the world, including in my living room. Her work is part of the permanent collection at the Cameron Art Museum, the Duke Medical Center, R.J. Reynolds, and at the SAS Institute. She's been the subject of 2 documentaries and is now here with me with her latest endeavor. Make sure I get this out right. Canvases for Conservation and Art Sale and Auction for the North Carolina Coastal Land Trust. Say hello to the one and only Elizabeth Darrow. She's joined by Jessica Blake, the incoming executive director of the Coastal Land Trust, right?
Correct.
Hi, great to have you with. How was that? Was that
great.
sum up your life pretty much?
Very good, thank you.
I did have to throw in that I have one of yours. I'm so happy to have you both here. I'm a big art fan, a big local art fan, and I think people should get only original arts in their home. I think it's the easy thing. I don't care if you pay $10 for it or $1 million for it. Hang it up if you love it. And I think the Coastal Land Trust is brill. So I'm so happy that this is coming together. And I guess I'll start with you, Elizabeth. It's called, and I have to read this every time because I'm never sure I'm getting it right. It's the Canvases for Conservation, Art Sale, and Online Auction of Work by Elizabeth Darrow to benefit the North Carolina Coastal Land Trust.
Right.
Somebody should have shortened that up.
We did. That's as short as we could make it.
Really? Okay. Was it your idea?
Oh, to do this auction?
Yes.
It came about because I was working on my will about 1.5 years ago, and I thought, what am I going to do with all my work when I die? And I've been working with Amy Grant at Art and Bloom, and she's very organized, and I knew if anybody could get something done, she could. So I thought, I'll just auction off all my work to the Coastal Land Trust, and Amy can be in charge of that when I die. And then I thought, well, gosh, it could be a long time before I die.
Hopefully.
Maybe I should just do it now. And I mentioned it to her one day when we were driving in her car. I just mentioned, what if I were to put up my work for auction and, you could be in charge of it all. And, well, when you give Amy an idea, she runs with it. She's a powerhouse.
She is.
All I had
Love
to do
Amy.
was present that idea to her, and she got it done. She's amazing, isn't she?
Yeah, she handles all the things.
Everything,
Was it always your intention for it to go to the land trust?
Well, once I started thinking about what I would do with my surplus, that's what I wanted to do. I've been part of a group show at Landfall several years ago, which was a fundraiser for Coastal Land Trust.
So, I don't want to ask an indelicate question, but does this mean you're not painting anymore?
No.
Oh, okay.
It just means I've got a lot of extra work to put out there, and I'd love it to find homes, and I'd also love to support this mission. So maybe we could make it happen.
Yes.
At this auction.
It sounds like a good first step.
It's just a crapshoot. We don't know. It's never been done in this town that I know of before, so it's the first time for me, for Amy. We'll just see how it goes.
All right. So, Jessica, I want to talk to you about the land trust, because I think people here have heard about it quite a bit, but they're not completely certain what it is. Give us a kind of an idea of what the Coastal Land Trust does.
Well, we're the Coastal Land Trust. We are a nonprofit organization that focuses on conservation of natural areas and working landscapes. We serve 31 counties. The entire coastal plain of North Carolina. And we were founded in 1992. Elizabeth's been a friend of us for a while. We've protected almost 92,000 acres in that time. So we're charging forward towards 100,000 acres. And as a nonprofit, we rely heavily on donations, foundations. Our funding is from individual donors to help us meet our mission. And so that's what this auction is hopefully going to do. It ties art and conservation together.
And so, just so everybody knows, when you're out near the water, driving on your boat, all these beautiful vistas that you see where it's undeveloped and it's protected, and that's where the birds are and everything, that's what the Coastal Land Trust is there to do. They're just trying to make sure that those places are not overdeveloped and not destroyed by man.
Correct.
Humans.
All of our conservation projects are permanent, so perpetual. So from Masonboro Island and Bird Island to Hootaf Island that we own, most recently the south end of Topsail Island that we've transferred to the state, all of those are permanently protected because the Coastal Land Trust took them on as projects.
You're talking about Bird Island in Southport?
Yes, the Sunset Beach Bird Island.
Oh,
crosses into South Carolina.
Okay, yes, okay. Yes. Do you also do Battery Island in Southport? Is that protected?
That's a different project.
Okay. Well, okay. I'm just checking. I think what you do is, that's the Lord's work,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It really is, because if not, development is, we need to have it. People need places to live.
Right.
Industry is important, but also preserving this is important.
From where we're sitting right now, one of the things that most people can see is the west bank of the Cape Fear River. So with Town Creek and the west bank of Cape Fear River, we've protected more than 18,000 acres there.
Wow.
And it's private property, but it cannot be changed. The use can't change. So if you think about Orton or Clarendon or Old Town, those cannot turn into big subdivisions and developments now because they're permanently protected by the Land Trust.
So, and the west bank just across from downtown Wilmington, are y'all still working on that, or has that been protected?
Always. It is. It's always a priority, and so if there are projects that come up in that area, we continue to work there. We only work with willing landowners, so we're non-adversarial, apolitical, and it kind of just is really successful that way.
I think you've been great. So it's wonderful. I grew up here, so I like this.
Thanks.
Elizabeth, let's talk about the show. We have got some video that we're going to play that is some of your artwork, so everybody can see it, and you can see it if you look right there.
Oh, okay.
Tell us about what people are going to find when they get to this auction. What kinds of pieces are we looking at? Are they going to find?
They're going to find figurative work done in oil pastel, like that one right there. And they're going to find abstract work and collage. So I go back and forth between various mediums. So there's a wide span of choices here.
I should have taken a picture of mine to bring it in, so just to throw it in there. But I was like, God, maybe I shouldn't do that. Is there one particular piece that you're most proud of? It doesn't have to be one of these.
No, I don't think I could say that. I love them because, I mean, I think every artist sort of loves their own work. They kind of fall in love with doing it. So they're all special to me. And I'd like them to be not in storage, like in somebody's home. So if this could happen, all the better.
I love that, in someone's home. I think art in someone's home is important. I've interviewed artists over the years, hundreds of them. And the thing about all of them is like, this, it's not for me. It's for the world. You want it out there.
You want people to live with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because real art, like, not real art's not the right word, original art, it makes you think. It's
or
like
it makes you feel.
Exactly. It gives you a perspective that wall decor can't do.
Right.
Not to say those things aren't important, because there's certainly lots of things that you hang in your home that are special to you that may not be original artwork. But I think when you look at something and can see that what somebody put into it to get it to make it come to life, it makes you think, it makes you change, and makes you look at the world differently.
And I'm really into color a lot too. So
I like color
I
in
think
general.
You get a kind of visceral response to color.
Do you have of the ones that you're going to auction off? Is there one that you really want to see go for the most? Is there like one that's like, okay, this one is going to be the one?
Oh, I don't know. Whatever happens will be okay. We're just offering it. We'll see what happens here.
Well, let's talk about the auction, because that is happening, and we've got a graphic.
Oh, it's happening right now.
Yes, you can go online right now and look at it. You can actually also, there is a something coming up Friday.
Friday night.
There's going to be an in-person event.
The big fundraiser for Coastal Land Trust.
It's Friday, and that's at the Firehouse on Castle Street.
Yeah.
Hey, as an aside, my grandfather was the fire chief at that firehouse when it was when it was the only one in downtown Wilmington.
It's a beautiful building, and it's a perfect place to display Elizabeth's art. So we encourage people to buy tickets to come to this reception on Friday night from 5 to 8. Those ticket sales benefit the Coastal Land Trust, but you also get to see the art in person, which is fantastic.
Absolutely, and all the information about how to get these tickets is at Art in Bloom Gallery, and we've got it up on the screen right now at aibgallery.com for more information about the dates and times and how to get tickets for this event and for the online auction, because you don't have to come to this to bid on these.
You can bid
all
from
online.
your living room chair if you like, and then the bidding goes on all day Saturday and Sunday too.
Yes,
So-
but on Saturday and Sunday, other people can go into the firehouse and
they
see
can,
it.
yes.
Are your paintings the only thing being auctioned off?
Except for a few little offerings from
Oh yeah,
Coastal.
there are a couple of things like a guided tour of the Stanley Reeder Carnivorous Plant Garden.
Which is also a hidden gem in this town.
Right, so you get to come spend time with a couple of Coastal Land Trust experts talking all about those plants.
Yes.
And giving you the background.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Well, I can't thank you both enough for coming in here and talk to me. I've got to do a few more things here, but I'm so happy that we did this. And for all of you watching at home, you can still get tickets to the event Friday night. You can go online and bid on these beautiful pieces right now. You can see them in person Saturday and Sunday. Elizabeth Darrow, the famed Elizabeth Darrow, so wonderful. The Coastal Land Trust. Thank you for coming in, Jessica.
Thank you.
And we'll have all this information on our website as well.
Great.
Thank you. And
Thank
I'm going to
you,
move.
Randy.
Oh,
Thank you.
my pleasure. I'm going to move around just a little bit to a couple of things, and you guys might think this is fun. So if you think your neighborhood has problems, wait till you hear about this one. Anne Hathaway is back in, the 100th movie she's been in this week, and Ewan McGregor, they both have a problem that no HOA would ever be able to deal with. David Daniel has a preview.
Anybody else see that weird light last night?
What weird light?
The wind was blowing all crazy. Starbuck was freaked out and barking.
Could have been lights from a helicopter.
Or a UFO? Aliens.
Shut up, Dad.
It's not a visitation, but transportation for Anne Hathaway, Ewan McGregor and family in the end of Oak Street.
We can't leave.
It seems their once quiet suburb isn't in suburbia anymore.
I think that our neighborhood, our house, our whole street has moved.
How the hell is that even possible?
And their new neighbors definitely are not following HOA rules.
Run! Get inside now!
What the hell's going on?
It's an unexpected and urgent family bonding experience.
Gather supplies. Grab anything you can use as a weapon. What are we gonna do?
We're gonna survive.
Easier said than done.
Get back! Run! Denise! Greg! Are you okay, baby? Are you okay?
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Well, the Powerball jackpot is closing in on $1 billion. What would the be? $1 billion. Nobody won Saturday night's grand prize, and that jackpot has climbed to, right now, it's $905 million. That's for today's drawing. No ticket matched all 6 numbers to win the $856 million on Saturday, but a ticket sold in Texas won $2 million. 4 tickets sold in Arizona, Florida, Michigan, and New York each got $1 million. Nobody has won the jackpot now in more than 3 months. It is currently played in 45 states, Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and also available now for the first time in the United Kingdom. So if I'm not here on tomorrow, you will know what happened to me tonight. That does it for us on this Monday morning. We hope you have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.